Before you begin, before you let your thoughts continue running, before the noise of the day pulls you back again, just pause for a moment and notice this. Right now, in this exact moment, you are safe, you are here, and nothing else is required from you anymore. Because in the next few minutes, something very different is going to happen to your mind and to your body. Something slow, something gentle, something deeply calming that begins to quiet every layer of tension you didn't even realize you were still holding. And if you're listening to this right now, it's not by accident. It's because a part of you is ready to finally slow down, ready to finally stop carrying everything at once, ready to fall into a kind of rest that feels deeper than sleep, deeper than thought, deeper than stress itself. So for just a moment, don't try to fix anything, don't try to solve anything, don't even try to understand everything you feel. Just listen, because in a few seconds, you may start to notice something very subtle happening. The tightness in your forehead slowly beginning to loosen, the weight in your chest starting to soften, the pressure behind your thoughts gently fading into the background. And you don't have to force any of this, because your mind already knows how to let go. Your body already knows how to rest. It just needed a safe space, a moment like this, to finally allow it. And as you continue listening, you might notice your breathing naturally slowing down, without effort, without control, just happening on its own, like your body remembering something it forgot, that it was never meant to stay in tension forever. And even if your thoughts are still there, that's okay. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to push them away. Just let them pass, like clouds moving slowly across a quiet sky, distant, soft, unimportant. Because right now, nothing outside this moment matters. Not what happened earlier, not what is waiting for tomorrow. Only this breath, only this stillness, only this gentle descent into calm. And maybe you can begin to feel it now, that quiet shift, that subtle release, like your entire nervous system is finally receiving permission to relax. You don't have to earn this rest, you don't have to deserve it, you simply allow it. And the more you listen, the more your mind begins to slow down, as if every word is gently guiding you, deeper, softer, quieter, into a place where anxiety cannot hold on as tightly anymore. Because this is the beginning of letting go, the beginning of deep healing, the beginning of sleep that comes easier than before. And very soon, you may notice something even more beautiful happening. The space between your thoughts becoming longer, the silence becoming more comforting, the heaviness turning into calm. And when that happens, you'll know you are already moving into deep rest, into peace, into the kind of sleep your body has been asking for. Just let it happen. Nothing more, nothing less. Gently settling into this moment, right here, right now, allowing everything around you to begin fading slowly, naturally, without effort, as if the world outside is becoming softer, quieter, more distant with every passing second. And you don't need to do anything at all, not right now, not in this moment, because this is your time to simply arrive, to simply be here, exactly as you are. Notice how you are not required to fix anything, not required to solve anything, not required to figure anything out tonight, because for the next few moments, everything can wait, everything can pause, everything can soften. And as you begin to settle, you might start to notice something very subtle happening within you. A quiet shift, a gentle slowing down, as if your entire system is finally receiving permission to rest, to release, to stop holding on so tightly. Let your awareness gently move inward now, away from the outer world, away from sounds, thoughts, responsibilities, and just begin to land softly into this present moment. There is nothing to chase here, nothing to reach, nothing to achieve, only this feeling, this space, this slow unfolding of calm. And maybe, just maybe, you can begin to sense the way your body is already responding. Without effort, without command, your breathing becoming a little softer, a little slower, as if your body already understands what your mind is still learning, that it is safe now, it is safe to relax, and even if you don't fully feel it yet, that's perfectly okay. Because relaxation doesn't always arrive all at once. Sometimes it begins as a whisper, a subtle softness, a quiet easing in the background of your awareness. So there is no pressure here, no expectation, only permission, permission to let go of the need to stay alert, permission to stop scanning, permission to stop holding tension in places that no longer need it. And as you continue to rest in this moment, you may begin to notice the surface beneath you supporting you more than you realized, holding you gently, steadily, as if reminding your body that it doesn't need to carry its own weight right now. You can allow yourself to be fully supported, completely held, without resistance. And as that awareness settles in, something even deeper begins to happen. Your attention starts to soften, like a light slowly dimming, not going out, but gently lowering its intensity. Thoughts may still appear, and that's okay, but they begin to lose urgency. They begin to drift further away, like distant echoes that no longer require your response. You are not pushing them away. You are not fighting them. You are simply allowing them to pass, like clouds moving across a wide open sky. And with every passing moment, your connection to stillness grows a little stronger. Your connection to calm becomes a little deeper, as if your entire system is remembering something it has always known: how to relax, how to slow down, how to simply be. Now bring your awareness gently to the fact that you are breathing. No need to change it, no need to control it. Just notice it, in and out, soft, natural, steady. And with each breath, you may begin to feel a subtle sense of release, as if your body is slowly exhaling the weight of the day, one layer at a time. Without effort, there is nothing you need to do to make this happen, because your body already knows how to return to balance. It already knows how to settle into ease. It just needed a moment like this, a safe space like this, to begin letting go. And as you stay here, gently present, you might begin to notice how your thoughts are no longer pulling you as strongly as before. They may still be there, but they feel further away now, softer, less important, more distant, and in their place, something else begins to grow, a quietness, a stillness, a gentle sense of space opening inside you. And you don't need to analyze it. You don't need to understand it. You simply allow it, because this is what your nervous system has been asking for. This slowing down, this easing, this release. And as your awareness continues to settle inward, you may notice the muscles around your forehead beginning to soften, almost as if they are sighing in relief, letting go of all the small tensions they have been holding. Your eyes feel heavier now, calmer, more relaxed, as if they are no longer trying to stay alert. Your jaw begins to loosen gently, naturally, releasing all the unconscious tightening you may not have even realized was there. And with every small release, you go deeper, not into sleep yet, but into something just before sleep, that in-between space where healing begins to unfold. And now, as you continue to stay with this gentle settling, you might notice your shoulders beginning to drop, just slightly at first, and then a little more, as if they are finally allowed to stop carrying everything, all the responsibility, all the pressure, all the expectations just slowly melting away. And there is nothing you need to hold on to anymore, because in this space, you are not your thoughts, you are not your stress, you are not your anxiety, you are the awareness beneath it all, the calm presence that has always been here. And as that realization gently settles in, you may feel your entire body beginning to become heavier in the most comfortable way, not tight, not stuck, but deeply supported, deeply grounded, deeply at ease. And now, without even trying, your attention begins to drift further inward, softer, slower, quieter, as if the outside world is no longer the focus. Only this moment remains, only this breath, only this gentle unfolding of calm. And as you continue to rest here, you may begin to sense that you are being guided into something deeper, something quieter, something more peaceful than you have felt all day, a place where your mind no longer needs to work so hard, a place where your body no longer needs to stay on alert, a place where you can finally, truly, simply rest, and you are already beginning to enter it, gently, effortlessly, step by step, breath by breath, without resistance, without force, just allowing yourself to drift. And as you drift, everything becomes softer, everything becomes slower, everything becomes quieter, and you realize there is nothing left to do now except continue letting go, continue softening, continue sinking gently into this peaceful state, because you are safe and you are settling and you are exactly where you need to be, right here, right now, and now, without changing anything, without trying to control anything. Simply allow your attention to gently shift toward your breath, not because you have to, but because it is always here, quietly supporting you. In the background of every moment, just notice it, the simple, natural, effortless rhythm of your breathing, in and out. Nothing forced, nothing adjusted, nothing corrected, just happening on its own. And as you observe it, you might begin to realize something very calming. Your breath has been here all along, even in moments of stress, even in moments of anxiety, even in moments of overwhelm. It never left you. It kept moving, gently, patiently, bringing life into your body without asking anything in return. And now, as you simply become aware of it, something begins to shift, not because you are trying to relax, but because awareness itself brings softness. So just notice how your inhale may already be slightly slower than before, and your exhale may be just a little longer, a little softer, a little deeper. And you don't need to force that change. It happens naturally when you simply pay attention, in and out, slowly, gently, like waves moving toward the shore and then retreating back into the ocean. And with every exhale, you may feel a small release, a subtle letting go, not dramatic, not sudden, just quiet, almost unnoticeable, but real. And as you continue to observe this rhythm, you might start to feel your entire system responding. Your shoulders may begin to drop, just slightly. Your chest may feel a little less tight. Your stomach may begin to soften. And again, you are not doing this. You are simply noticing. And your body already knows how to respond to safety. It knows how to return to balance. It knows how to soften when it is given permission. And right now, you are giving it that permission, without words, without effort, just through presence, in and out. And maybe now, you can begin to imagine your breath like a gentle wave, a wave that rises slowly, fills you softly, and then releases everything back into calm. And each wave a little smoother than the last, a little quieter, a little deeper. And you may begin to notice something very subtle happening in your mind. Thoughts are still there, but they are no longer pulling you as strongly. They feel more distant, like background noise, like leaves drifting on a quiet stream. You can see them, but you do not need to follow them, and so you return to the breath again and again, in and out, and with each return, you go deeper, not into sleep yet, but into something just before sleep, that soft borderland where awareness begins to dissolve into calm. And now, you might notice the rhythm becoming even more natural, as if your body is remembering how to breathe without effort, no longer shallow, no longer rushed, just steady, slow, peaceful. And the more you allow it, the more effortless it becomes, because you are not interfering. You are simply observing, and observation without resistance is one of the most powerful forms of relaxation. And now, gently, let your awareness follow the exhale a little more closely, because the exhale is where release happens. In every out-breath, there is a letting go of tension, of pressure, of holding, of everything your body no longer needs to carry. And you don't need to name it. You don't need to understand it. You just allow it. Exhale, release, softening, and again, exhale, release, softening. And as this continues, you may begin to feel your entire nervous system responding, like a slow wave moving through every part of you, calming, soothing, quieting. And even if your mind wanders, that is completely okay, because every time you notice it, you gently return, not with force, but with kindness, back to the breath, back to the rhythm, back to this moment, in and out. And now, something even deeper begins to happen. The breath becomes not just something you observe, but something you feel yourself inside of, as if you are being gently held by it, carried by it, soothed by it. And in that feeling, there is safety. And in that safety, there is relaxation. And in that relaxation, there is letting go. And now, very gently, you may begin to notice the pauses between breaths, those quiet spaces, those still moments where nothing is happening, and yet everything is okay. And in those pauses, there is deep peace, a silence that does not demand anything from you, a silence that simply exists. And you are allowed to rest there, just for a moment, and then again. The breath returns, soft, natural, unforced, and you realize you don't need to control it, you don't need to fix it, you don't need to change it, because your body already knows exactly what to do, and it is doing it perfectly right now. And all you have to do is continue noticing, continuing to allow, continuing to soften in and out, slowly now, deeper now, quieter now, until even the idea of effort begins to fade, and what remains is just this gentle rhythm, this calm presence, this soft unfolding into rest. And now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to do anything perfectly, just begin to notice your body, not as something you need to control, not as something you need to fix, but simply as something you are allowed to experience right here, right now. And as you bring your awareness into your body, you may begin to realize how much has been quietly carried throughout the day. Not just physical tension, but mental pressure, emotional weight, subtle layers of stress that built up without you even fully noticing. And now, in this moment, you are not required to carry all of that anymore. You can begin to let it soften, not all at once, not in a rush, but slowly, gently, naturally, like something loosening that has been tight for too long. And you don't need to search for where the tension is, because your body already knows. And more importantly, your body already knows how to release it. So just allow that process to begin without effort, without judgment, without expectation, and you might start to notice it in small ways first. A slight easing in your forehead, a softening around your eyes, a tiny release in your jaw, so subtle that if you weren't paying attention, you might miss it completely. But it is happening, and now, gently, let that awareness move downward into your neck, into your shoulders, and just notice how long have they been holding weight you didn't even realize was there. The weight of the day, the weight of thoughts, the weight of responsibilities, the weight of always being on. And now, just for this moment, you don't need to hold any of it. You can allow those shoulders to soften, to drop, to release, not by force, but by permission. And that is enough, because the body responds not to pressure, but to safety. And right now, nothing is demanding anything from you. So your system begins to understand. It is safe to relax, safe to let go, safe to soften. And as that understanding settles deeper, you may notice a slow wave of release beginning to move through you. Not dramatic, not sudden, but steady, like warmth spreading gently through tired muscles, like a signal saying, you don't have to stay tense anymore. And you might notice your chest beginning to feel lighter, as if something invisible is being set down. Breath becomes easier, softer, more open, and again, you are not controlling this, you are allowing it. And that allowance is powerful, because the more you allow, the more your body responds. And now, gently, let that wave continue downward into your stomach area, where so much unconscious tension often collects, even when you are not aware of it. And just imagine, not forcing, just imagining area beginning to soften, to relax, to release, as if every breath is gently massaging away tightness you no longer need. And you may begin to feel a subtle sense of space forming inside you, a spaciousness, a lightness, a quiet openness, and that is your nervous system beginning to shift from alertness into calm, from holding into releasing, from tension into ease. And now, let that feeling continue moving down through your hips, your thighs, your knees, your lower legs, all the way into your feet, as if every part of your body is being gently invited to let go, to stop holding, to stop gripping, to simply rest. And with each part that softens, you go deeper, not into sleep yet, but into something close, something peaceful, something safe. And now you may begin to notice something very important. The more you relax your body, the quieter your mind becomes, because body and mind are connected. When one softens, the other follows. And so, as your body releases tension, your thoughts begin to slow. They lose urgency, they lose sharpness, they lose their pull, and you no longer feel the need to follow them, because you are anchored somewhere deeper now, in stillness, in breath, in presence, and that is enough. And now, just for a few moments, allow yourself to simply experience this release without analyzing it, without questioning it, without interrupting it, just being inside it. And you may notice something else happening, a feeling of heaviness, but in a comforting way, like sinking into a bed that perfectly supports you, like the body finally remembering what rest feels like. And with every passing moment, that feeling deepens, softens, expands, until there is nothing left to do, nothing left to hold, nothing left to carry, only this gentle unfolding, only this quiet release, only this moment of letting go, and you are doing it perfectly, simply by being here, simply by allowing. And now, as your body continues to soften, you may begin to drift slightly deeper inward, where everything feels slower, softer, more distant, and that is exactly where healing begins, not in effort, but in surrender, not in control, but in letting go. And you are already there, moving deeper with every breath, more relaxed with every second, more at ease than you were before. And this process, this release, is still continuing. Even now, even as you listen, even as you rest, your body is learning. It is safe to let go. And that learning goes deeper than words. It becomes a feeling, a state, a calm that begins to stay with you. And now you can simply continue resting inside that feeling, letting everything soften, letting everything release, letting everything become quiet. And now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to make anything happen, just allow your attention to shift slightly from the mind into the body. And as you do that, you may begin to notice something very natural, a sense of weight, not uncomfortable weight, not pressure, but a deep, settling, grounding kind of heaviness, as if your body is finally remembering that it does not need to hold itself up so tightly anymore. It is allowed to rest fully, completely, and you don't need to create this feeling. You simply notice it, because it is already happening. The surface beneath you, whether it is a bed, a couch, or wherever you are resting, is doing something very important right now. It is supporting you, effortlessly, continuously, without asking anything in return. And as you become aware of that support, something inside you begins to respond. A subtle surrender, a gentle letting go, as if your body is slowly deciding, I don't need to hold on anymore. And that decision does not come from effort. It comes from safety, from stillness, from being here, right now. And as that awareness deepens, you may begin to feel your body becoming heavier in a way that is surprisingly comforting, not like burden, but like sinking, like melting, like gently being held by something larger than yourself. And you might notice it first in small ways, your arms feeling slightly heavier, your legs beginning to feel more still, your breathing becoming less active, more passive, as if your body is slowly shifting from doing into being. And that shift, even though it is subtle, is deeply powerful, because it is the shift from tension into rest, from control into release, from holding into letting go. And now, just allow that feeling to continue. You don't need to guide it. You don't need to shape it. You only need to allow it. And as you allow it, you may begin to notice something even more interesting. The more you feel supported, the more your body begins to relax into that support, almost as if it is testing it at first, and then slowly realizing it is safe to let go completely. And so, little by little, you might feel yourself sinking a bit deeper, not falling, not drifting away, but settling, like something slowly finding its exact place, its exact level of comfort. And now, your awareness may begin to notice the contact points between your body and the surface beneath you, the places where you are being held, the places where weight is being received without resistance. And as you notice those points, you may begin to feel something subtle happen, a softening, a melting, as if those areas are beginning to say, I can release now. And you are not forcing that release. You are simply noticing it happening, naturally, effortlessly, And with each moment of noticing, your body responds a little more heaviness, a little more softness, a little more surrender, and now it may feel as if your entire body is beginning to synchronize with this sensation, as if every part of you is slowly agreeing, yes, it is okay to rest. And that agreement, that inner permission, is what allows deeper relaxation to unfold, because your body does not resist safety, it moves toward it. And now, you may begin to notice your breathing again, still gentle, still soft, but now slightly deeper, as if each breath is pulling you further into stillness, and each exhale is letting go of something you no longer need. Even if you cannot name it, even if you do not understand it, your body understands, and it is releasing. And now, imagine for a moment that your body is becoming slightly heavier with each exhale, not in a restrictive way, but in a grounding way, like being gently anchored into peace. Inhale, soft, exhale, heavier, inhale, calm, exhale, release. And with each cycle, you may feel yourself drifting deeper into comfort, deeper into quiet, deeper into that soft in-between space where thinking begins to slow and feeling becomes more dominant than thought. And now, something very important begins to happen. You stop noticing your body as separate parts, and instead, you begin to feel it as one continuous field of heaviness, one continuous sense of support, one continuous state of ease, and that unity, that wholeness, is deeply calming to the nervous system, because nothing is fragmented anymore, nothing is scattered, everything is simply here and supported. And as that sense deepens, you may begin to feel time itself becoming less important. Moments feel softer, slower, more stretched, as if everything is gently expanding into stillness, and you are not rushing anywhere. There is nowhere to go, nothing to complete, only this, only now, only this gentle sinking feeling. And now, as you continue to rest inside this heaviness, you may notice something very subtle. Your body no longer feels like something you are controlling. It feels like something you are being carried by. Like the surface beneath you is not just holding you, but receiving you fully, completely, without effort. And in that receiving, there is safety. And in that safety, there is surrender. And in that surrender, there is deep relaxation. And now, you might begin to feel your thoughts becoming even softer, less structured, more distant, as if they are fading into the background of a quiet room, and you no longer need to follow them, because they are no longer important right now. What is important is this heaviness, this stillness, this support. And as you remain here, you may begin to drift even closer to sleep-like calm, not forcing it, not chasing it, just allowing it, like sinking into deeper water, slowly, peacefully, naturally. And everything continues to soften, everything continues to slow, everything continues to settle, until even the idea of effort feels far away, and all that remains is this gentle, grounding, comforting heaviness, holding you, sustaining you, and guiding you deeper. And now, gently, without trying to change anything, without pushing anything away, simply allow your awareness to notice something very natural happening. Your thoughts, they are still there, but something about them is beginning to shift. They are no longer as close as they were a moment ago, no longer as sharp, no longer as loud, and you don't need to fight them, you don't need to silence them, you don't need to control them at all, because something deeper is already happening on its own. They are beginning to drift, slowly, softly, like distant echoes moving further and further away from you. And all you have to do is notice that distance, because that distance is the beginning of calm. And as you notice it, you may begin to feel something very subtle inside your mind, a sense of space, as if your thoughts are no longer filling your entire awareness, as if there is now room between them, gaps, pauses, soft open spaces where silence begins to appear. And in those spaces, there is peace, not forced peace, not manufactured calm, but natural quietness that was always there underneath everything else. And now, you may begin to notice that you are not inside your thoughts. You are observing them, and that small shift, that simple recognition, changes everything, because you are not the noise, you are not the thinking, you are the awareness beneath it all. And as that understanding settles in, your thoughts begin to lose more weight. They become less sticky, less demanding, less important, like background sounds from another room. You can hear them, but they are no longer pulling you in, and you don't need to respond to them. You don't need to follow them. You don't even need to finish them. You can simply let them pass, just like clouds moving slowly across a wide sky, appearing and disappearing without effort, without resistance. And as you allow that process, something very calming begins to happen inside your nervous system, a quiet relaxation, a softening of mental pressure, as if your mind is finally being given permission to rest from thinking so hard, and it begins to respond slowly, naturally, by becoming quieter. And now you might notice something even more interesting. The less you engage with your thoughts, the more space you feel, space in your mind, space in your awareness, space in your experience. And that space feels safe, that space feels open, that space feels peaceful, and you can rest in it without needing to fill it, without needing to change it, just resting. And now imagine your thoughts like distant sounds, far away, in another place. You can hear them faintly, but they no longer feel close, no longer feel urgent, no longer feel like they belong to this moment. And each second that passes, they drift even further, so soft now, so faint now, almost like echoes dissolving into stillness. And as they fade, you may begin to notice something taking their place. Silence, not empty silence, but full silence, alive silence, comfortable silence, the kind of silence that allows your mind to finally rest without effort. And in that silence, your awareness begins to feel lighter, less crowded, less overwhelmed, more open, more spacious. And now, even if a thought appears, it no longer interrupts anything. It simply passes through, like a ripple on a calm surface, and disappears, and you remain untouched, still, calm, present. And as this continues, you may begin to feel your attention naturally drifting away from thinking altogether, not forcing it, not trying, just naturally losing interest in holding on to thoughts. Because there is something more peaceful here, something more comfortable, something more safe. And your system recognizes that, and so it relaxes further. And now, thoughts may still come and go, but they feel like distant weather, moving across a far horizon. You are no longer inside the storm. You are watching it fade, and even the idea of holding on to thoughts begins to feel unnecessary. Because here, in this space, there is nothing to solve, nothing to analyze, nothing to continue, only this gentle drifting, this soft unwinding, this slow return to quiet. And now, you might begin to feel a deeper shift happening, as if your mind is no longer the center of your experience, and something deeper is taking its place, a calm awareness, a quiet presence, a stillness that does not think, but simply is. And in that stillness, everything becomes easier. Breathing becomes easier. Letting go becomes easier. Resting becomes easier because nothing is resisting anymore. And now, your thoughts feel even further away, so faint now, so light, almost as if they belong to another version of you from a long distance, and you don't need to go there. You are here, safe, calm, settling. And as you continue to remain here, you may notice that even the idea of thinking begins to slow, not stopping, just softening, like a dim light slowly lowering, until only calm remains. And now, there is a deep sense of spaciousness inside you, wide, open, quiet, and you can rest there, completely, without effort, without interruption, just resting in the silence that has always been waiting beneath your thoughts. And as you rest, you may begin to drift even deeper into stillness, closer to sleep, closer to peace, closer to that natural state where your mind no longer needs to do anything at all, and everything simply becomes quiet, soft, and deeply calm. And now, gently, without changing anything, without forcing anything, simply allow your awareness to rest softly around your forehead. Just notice it, not as something you need to control, not as something you need to fix, but as a space that can finally soften. And as you bring even a gentle awareness there, you may begin to notice something subtle happening, a slight easing, a quiet release, as if the small muscles around your forehead are no longer required to stay alert, no longer required to stay tight, no longer required to stay active, and they begin to soften, slowly, naturally, without effort. And you are not doing this. It is happening because you are safe enough now to let it happen. And as that softness begins to spread, you may notice it moving gently outward, across the forehead, smoothing out tension you didn't even realize was still there. As if every small line of stress is slowly being washed away by stillness. And now, gently, allow that awareness to move downward, to your eyes, and just notice how much your eyes have been doing all day, watching, processing, scanning, staying alert, even when you didn't need to. And now, they don't need to do that anymore. Right here, right now, they are allowed to rest, and as you give them that permission, something begins to shift, a heaviness, a softening, a natural closing feeling beginning to emerge, not forced, not intentional, just happening. And you may notice your eyelids becoming slightly heavier, as if they are gently being invited into rest, and that invitation is enough, because your body responds not to commands, but to safety. And right now, there is nothing demanding your attention, nothing pulling you outward, only this moment, only this stillness. And so your eyes begin to soften further, as if they are no longer searching, no longer scanning, no longer needing to stay engaged with the world, and instead, they begin to turn inward, toward rest, toward quiet, toward peace. And now, as this relaxation deepens, you may begin to feel something very calming spreading from your eyes into your entire head, a gentle wave of softness, as if your mind itself is being soothed through your eyes, and that wave continues slowly downward, releasing subtle tension you didn't even realize was present. And now your forehead feels smoother, your eyes feel heavier, your attention feels softer, and everything begins to slow, not just physically, but mentally, because the eyes and the mind are deeply connected. When the eyes relax, the mind follows, and now your mind begins to feel less active, less sharp, less busy, as if the entire system is being told, you can stop scanning now, you are safe, and it responds naturally, by quieting down. And now, you might notice a deeper stillness forming behind your eyes, a soft inner darkness, not empty in a negative way, but peaceful, restful, like closing a door on the outside world, without effort, just allowing it to happen. And as that inner stillness grows, something very important begins to shift. Your awareness is no longer pulled outward, it begins to settle inward, into softness, into quiet, into calm. And now even your thoughts begin to feel slower, like they are losing energy, losing urgency, losing importance, and you don't need to chase them because they are already fading. And now, gently, allow your face as a whole to soften. Not just the forehead, not just the eyes, but the entire expression, as if you are letting go of every subtle way your face holds tension, every small unconscious tightening, every quiet effort of staying alert, and it all begins to release, slowly, gently, naturally. And now, you may begin to feel something very comforting, as if your face is becoming lighter, and at the same time, your whole body feels heavier. A beautiful contrast, light in awareness, heavy in rest, and that balance pulls you deeper into relaxation. And now, you may begin to notice your breathing again, still gentle, still steady, but now more connected to this deep softness in your face, as if every breath is washing calm through your entire system, inhaling softness, exhaling tension, inhaling calm, exhaling effort, and you don't need to guide this, it is happening on its own, because your body knows how to return to balance. And now, as this relaxation deepens, you may feel your entire nervous system beginning to slow down, like a dimmer switch gradually lowering the intensity of everything. Thoughts become slower, sensations become softer, time feels less important, and everything begins to move towards stillness. And now, there is a sense that your entire face, your eyes, your forehead, your mind are all gently sinking into the same field of calm, one continuous softness, one continuous quiet, one continuous letting go, and you don't need to hold anything anymore, not your thoughts, not your tension, not your awareness, just rest. And now, something even deeper begins to happen. You may notice that even the idea of effort feels distant, as if effort belongs somewhere else. And here, there is only ease, only softness, only gentle presence. And as you remain here, your mind continues to quiet naturally, not because you are forcing it, but because it no longer needs to stay active. And now, your awareness becomes more spacious, more open, more peaceful, and you may begin to feel yourself drifting closer to sleep-like calm, where thinking fades and resting begins, and everything becomes soft, quiet, and deeply still. And now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to correct or improve anything at all, just allow your awareness to slowly move downward from your eyes, your forehead, your inner quiet, into your jaw, and just notice it, not as something you need to fix, but as a space where tension may have quietly gathered throughout the day. Because the jaw is often one of the places where stress hides without us even realizing it. Clenching, holding, tightening, just slightly, just enough to carry unspoken pressure. And now, right here, in this moment, you don't need to hold any of that anymore. So gently, allow the jaw to soften, not by force, not by command, but by permission. And that permission is enough. And as you give it permission, something subtle begins to happen. A small release, a softening, a quiet easing, as if the jaw is finally being allowed to rest in its natural position, and you might notice it separating just slightly, relaxing, letting go, and there is nothing you need to do about it. It happens on its own, because your body understands safety, and now, gently, allow that awareness to move upward into your neck, and just notice how much your neck has been carrying today, holding your head up, holding attention, holding stress, holding the weight of thinking, and now it doesn't need to hold that in the same way anymore. So gently allow the neck to begin releasing, softening, lengthening, as if small layers of tension are slowly dissolving, without effort, without resistance, just letting go. And as that happens, you may begin to feel a very natural sense of relief, like something heavy is being set down, and your neck begins to feel lighter, more open, more supported. And now that wave of relaxation continues, moving gently into your shoulders, and just notice them, because shoulders often carry so much without asking permission. Stress, responsibility, pressure, emotional weight, all held quietly, without awareness. And now, in this moment, you don't need to carry any of it. So allow the shoulders to soften, to drop, to release, not all at once, but gradually, like something slowly melting away, and you may begin to feel them lowering slightly, relaxing slightly, becoming less tense and more at ease. And as that happens, something very important begins to shift inside your nervous system. A signal is being sent. You are safe now. And your body responds by letting go even more. And now, as the shoulders soften, you might notice a gentle wave of relaxation beginning to move downward from your neck into your upper back, releasing small knots of tension you may not have been aware of, softening areas that have been tight for too long. And now, everything begins to feel slightly heavier, but in the most comfortable way, not burdened, not stuck, but grounded, settled, held. And now, you may begin to notice your breathing again, still natural, still soft, but now influenced by this deep release. And each inhale feels a little easier, and each exhale feels a little longer, as if your body is slowly exhaling the weight of the day, and you are not doing this. It is happening through you. And now your shoulders may feel like they are no longer holding anything at all, just resting, just being, just supported, and that sense of support begins to spread through your entire upper body like a quiet reassurance. You don't have to hold on anymore. And now something deeper begins to happen. Your awareness begins to shift away from individual parts, jaw, neck, shoulders, and instead you begin to feel them as one unified sense of release, one continuous softening, one continuous letting go, and that unity brings calm, because nothing is fragmented anymore. Everything is flowing together into relaxation. And now you might notice your mind becoming quieter again. As your body releases tension, your thoughts lose intensity. They begin to slow. They begin to fade. They begin to drift further away, like distant echoes dissolving into silence. And you don't need to follow them, because they are no longer important right now. What is important is this softness, this heaviness, this gentle unfolding of relaxation. And now you may begin to feel something even more subtle, as if your entire upper body is being gently held by the surface beneath you, not just supported, but fully received. And in that receiving, there is safety, and in that safety, there is surrender, and in that surrender, there is deep relaxation. And now, as you continue to rest here, your jaw remains soft, your neck remains relaxed, your shoulders remain dropped, and everything begins to feel more unified, more calm, more still. And now, even the idea of effort begins to fade, because there is nothing left to do, nothing left to hold, nothing left to fix, only this moment, only this breath, only this gentle descent into ease. And now you may begin to feel yourself drifting slightly deeper, not asleep yet, but closer, closer to that soft space where thoughts no longer matter, where the body begins to fully rest, where awareness becomes quiet and gentle, and everything continues to soften, everything continues to slow, everything continues to settle, until only calm remains. And now gently, without changing anything, without trying to create anything, just allow your awareness to softly move into your chest, and just notice the center of your breathing, the space where so much emotion can quietly gather without you even realizing it. And now, in this moment, you don't need to carry anything there. You don't need to hold anything there. You don't need to protect anything there. Because right now, you are safe. And as that sense of safety settles in, something very natural begins to happen. A gentle wave of relaxation, slow, soft, steady, beginning right at the top of your chest. And you don't need to imagine it perfectly. Just allow the idea of it, a soft wave moving through you, not forceful, not dramatic, but calming, like warm, still water slowly moving through tight spaces. And as that wave begins to form, you may notice your chest beginning to feel slightly softer, less tight, less restricted, more open, more free. And there is nothing you are doing to make this happen. It is happening because your body recognizes safety. And now, that wave continues, slowly moving downward, calming the rhythm of your heartbeat, not changing it forcefully, but gently soothing it, like a quiet reassurance moving through your entire system. You can slow down now, you can soften now, you can rest now, and your body listens, not through effort, but through surrender. And now, as that wave spreads, you may begin to notice something very subtle, a release of pressure you didn't even realize you were holding, a quiet easing in the chest area, as if something invisible is being gently set down, and you are not analyzing it, you are not controlling it, you are simply allowing it, and that allowing opens the door to deeper relaxation. And now, imagine that wave continuing, flowing slowly, gently, through your entire upper body, softening everything it touches, like calm water moving through tension and dissolving it naturally. And with each passing moment, your chest feels lighter, your breathing feels easier, your awareness feels softer. And now, something even more important begins to happen. Your heartbeat begins to feel less noticeable, not because it is changing dramatically, but because your attention is becoming calmer, more peaceful, less reactive. And in that calm, everything slows down, thoughts slow down, sensations slow down, emotions soften, and you are no longer in a state of alertness. You are moving into rest. And now, gently, allow that wave to continue downward into your solar plexus, the area where stress often quietly collects, where worry can build without permission. And now you don't need to hold any of that anymore. So allow it to soften, to release, to unwind. And you may begin to feel a subtle loosening, like tightness that has been there for hours, or days, or even longer, beginning to dissolve. And again, not all at once, but gently, naturally, like something melting in slow motion. And now, that wave continues, moving deeper, spreading through your entire torso, creating a sense of spaciousness inside you, as if your body is no longer compressed, no longer tight, but open, soft, and gently expanding into calm. And now you may begin to notice your breathing again. But now it is different, not controlled, not forced, but deeply relaxed. Each inhale feels easier, each exhale feels longer, as if your entire system is exhaling the stress of the day, and you are not doing it. It is happening through you. And now, as this wave continues its movement, you may begin to feel your emotional state beginning to soften as well, not analyzing emotions, not resisting emotions, but simply letting them quiet down, like ripples in water slowly becoming still. And now there is space, space in your chest, space in your mind, space in your awareness, and that space feels safe, that space feels peaceful, that space feels like rest. And now something very subtle begins to emerge, a sense that you are being held not by anything external, but by the moment itself, by stillness, by breath, by calm presence. And in that holding, there is no need to protect yourself, no need to stay tense, no need to stay alert. And so your body responds by softening even more. And now your chest feels lighter, your heartbeat feels calmer, your entire upper body feels more at ease, and you may begin to notice a gentle drift happening, not sleep yet, but the beginning of sleep, that soft transition where awareness begins to fade at the edges and everything becomes quieter, softer, slower, and now you may feel as if you are floating slightly, not away from yourself, but into deeper stillness, and everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to release, until even thinking feels far away, and all that remains is this gentle wave of calm, still moving, still soothing, still guiding you deeper into rest. And now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to adjust anything, just allow your awareness to softly move downward from your chest into your stomach area, and just notice. This part of your body often holds so much more than we realize. Subtle tension, quiet worry, unspoken pressure. Even when the mind is calm, the body sometimes continues to hold on. And now, in this moment, you don't need to hold anything there anymore. You are safe, right here, right now. And as that sense of safety settles in, you may begin to feel something very gentle beginning to happen, a soft wave of relaxation continuing its journey downward, from your chest into your stomach, not forced, not sudden, but slow, natural, almost like warm stillness moving through tight spaces and softening everything it touches. And you don't need to imagine it perfectly. Just allow the feeling of it, that something inside you is beginning to loosen, to soften, to let go. And as this wave reaches your stomach area, you may begin to notice a subtle shift, a gentle easing, a quiet release, as if the muscles that have been slightly tight throughout the day are finally being given permission to relax, and that permission is enough, because your body responds deeply to safety. And right now, there is nothing to protect against, nothing to prepare for, nothing to hold on to, only this moment, only this breath, only this quiet unfolding of calm. And now, as you continue to rest here, you might begin to notice your stomach feeling slightly softer, less engaged, less tense, more open, more relaxed. And there is nothing you are doing to create this. It is happening naturally, because your nervous system is beginning to shift from alertness into rest, from holding into releasing, from tension into ease. And now, gently, imagine that same wave continuing its movement, like calm water slowly flowing downward, spreading through your entire midsection, softening everything it touches, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, steady way, like stress slowly dissolving into stillness. And as that happens, you may begin to notice something very comforting, a sense of space beginning to form inside your body, as if everything is no longer compressed, no longer tight, but open, light, and gently expanding. And now you might notice your breathing again, but now it feels different because your stomach is part of that breath, and each inhale feels softer, and each exhale feels longer, as if your entire body is breathing more freely now, without effort, without control, just happening naturally. And you are not doing this. It is happening through you. And now, as this relaxation deepens, you may begin to feel something very subtle happening in your emotional space, a quiet settling, as if worries that were once held tightly are beginning to loosen their grip, not because you are analyzing them, not because you are solving them, but because your body no longer needs to hold them in the same way. And that release brings relief, a quiet, steady relief that spreads gently through your entire system. And now your stomach area may feel lighter, more relaxed, less reactive, as if the body is learning that it is safe to be at ease, safe to soften, safe to simply exist without tension. And now that sense of calm begins to spread further through your lower torso, like a gentle grounding wave, anchoring you into stillness, not pulling you down, but holding you steady, like being supported from within. And now you may begin to notice that the more your body relaxes, the quieter your mind becomes, because they are connected. When the body softens, the mind follows. And so thoughts begin to slow, they become less sharp, less urgent, less demanding, and you no longer feel the need to follow them, because they are drifting further away, like distant echoes fading into silence, and you remain here, calm, present, supported. And now something very important begins to happen. You may start to feel your entire midsection becoming one unified field of relaxation, no longer separate sensations, but one continuous softness, one continuous calm, one continuous letting go. And that unity creates deep peace, because nothing is fragmented anymore. Everything is flowing together into stillness. And now, gently, allow yourself to rest inside that stillness, without effort, without expectation, without trying to change anything, just being here, in this quiet space, where your body is soft, your breath is calm, and your mind is beginning to slow. And now, you may notice a deeper sense of grounding forming, as if your entire body is gently being held by something steady and supportive, not just the surface beneath you, but something deeper, something quiet, something safe. And in that safety, your system begins to release even more, slowly, naturally, effortlessly. And now, there is a sense that your stomach area is no longer holding stress. It is letting it go, gently, quietly, without resistance. And each moment that passes, you feel lighter, calmer, more settled. And now your awareness begins to drift slightly inward, not into thinking, but into feeling, into stillness, into quiet presence, where everything becomes softer, slower, more peaceful, and you are no longer pulled outward by thoughts or tension. You are resting inward, and now everything continues to soften, everything continues to slow, everything continues to settle, until only calm remains, and you are already moving deeper into that calm, breath by breath, moment by moment, gently drifting toward rest. And now, gently, without changing anything, without moving anything, without trying to adjust your position. Just allow your awareness to slowly shift downward from your stomach into your arms, and just notice your arms have been carrying so much throughout the day, even when you were not thinking about them, even when you were focused on other things. They have been active, engaged, ready, and now, in this moment, they no longer need to do anything at all. They can rest fully, completely. And as you bring awareness into your arms, you may begin to notice a subtle shift happening, a softening, a heaviness in the most comfortable way, as if the muscles are finally being given permission to stop holding. And that permission is enough, because your body responds deeply to rest. And now, that gentle wave of relaxation continues moving downward through your upper arms, your lower arms, your elbows, releasing tension you may not have even realized was there. And you are not doing this. It is happening naturally, like something slowly melting away inside you. And now, your arms may begin to feel heavier, but not in a tiring way, in a deeply restful way, like they are finally being supported completely, no longer needing to hold themselves up, no longer needing to stay ready, just resting. And now, gently allow that awareness to move further down into your hands, and just notice how much your hands have done today, holding, gripping, typing, touching, working. Even subtle tension can gather there without awareness. And now, they don't need to hold anything anymore. So allow them to soften, to open, to release. And you may begin to notice your fingers becoming slightly stiller, softer, less active, as if they are slowly letting go of every small effort, and that letting go feels natural. Almost like your hands are remembering what it feels like to do nothing, to simply rest. And now, that wave of relaxation continues into your fingertips, the very edges of your awareness. And there is something very calming about this, because when even the smallest parts of the body relax, the entire system follows. And now, your hands may feel light, still, peaceful, as if they are no longer part of doing, but part of resting. And now, gently, that softness begins to spread back upward through your arms again, creating a full wave of relaxation, moving from fingertips to shoulders. And as it reaches your shoulders, you may notice a deeper sense of release, as if everything your arms have been holding, physically and emotionally, is finally being set down, and there is nothing you need to carry anymore. Not here, not now. And now, that sense of release spreads further into your entire upper body, creating a continuous feeling of ease, a continuous letting go. And now, something very subtle begins to happen. Your arms begin to feel like they belong to rest, not effort, not tension, but rest. And that realization creates even deeper relaxation, because the body follows identity. And now your body is learning, I am resting, I am safe, I can let go. And now, you may begin to notice a gentle heaviness spreading through your arms, but it is not uncomfortable. It is grounding, comforting, like sinking into a soft surface that perfectly supports you. And now, your awareness begins to drift slightly inward again, not toward thoughts, but toward sensation, toward stillness, toward calm. And your arms feel further away from effort, further away from tension, further away from activity, and closer to rest. And now, as this continues, you may begin to notice something even deeper happening. Your entire body begins to feel more unified, as if all the earlier relaxation in your face, your chest, your stomach, and now your arms are becoming one continuous field of calm. No separation, no fragmentation, just one steady flow of ease, and that unity brings peace, because nothing is working against itself anymore. Everything is moving together into stillness. And now your breath feels even softer, because your arms no longer hold tension that was influencing your breathing. Everything is connected. Everything is softening together. And now you may begin to feel your hands resting more completely, as if they are gently sinking into stillness, no longer needing to respond, no longer needing to prepare, just being. And now something very calming begins to emerge, a sense that your entire upper body is now in a state of deep support, held, settled, calm. And you don't need to maintain this. You don't need to control it. You simply allow it, and that allowance deepens everything. And now your awareness may begin to drift slightly further inward as thoughts become quieter, as sensations become softer, as everything slows down, and now even the idea of movement feels distant, because stillness feels more natural, more comfortable, more safe. And now you may begin to feel yourself entering a deeper layer of relaxation, not sleep yet, but the space just before sleep, where everything becomes slower, softer, quieter, and you are no longer actively doing anything at all. You are simply resting inside calm, and now everything continues to soften. Everything continues to slow. Everything continues to settle, until only peace remains, and you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, moment by moment. And now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to create any feeling at all, just allow your awareness to rest softly across your entire upper body, and simply notice. There is a different quality here now. Something has shifted, something has softened, something has released, and your upper body, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, all of it together now feels more supported than before, not because anything outside of you has changed, but because something inside you has begun to let go. And as you notice that, you may begin to feel a quiet sense of relief, a subtle realization that you are no longer holding everything in the same way. And you don't need to, because right now, in this moment, there is nothing demanding your effort, nothing requiring your attention, nothing asking you to stay on guard, only this gentle support. And as that awareness settles in, your body responds even more, naturally, softly, effortlessly. And now, it may feel as if your entire upper body is resting more fully into whatever is supporting you, as if gravity itself has become gentler, more comforting, more steady, and there is no resistance anymore, just surrender, and in that surrender there is peace. And now, gently, allow your awareness to notice your breathing again, not to change it, not to control it, but simply to observe it. And you may notice that your breath feels more open now, less restricted, less shallow, more natural, as if your entire upper body is finally allowing breath to move freely again. And each inhale feels soft, each exhale feels even softer, and with every exhale there is a quiet release, not dramatic, not sudden, but subtle, like tension slowly dissolving into stillness. And now, you may begin to notice something very important happening in your nervous system. A deeper shift from alertness into safety, from holding into releasing, from effort into ease, and your body recognizes this shift and responds by softening further. because your body is always listening for safety, and right now, everything signals safety. And now, that sense of support begins to feel even more complete, as if your upper body is not just resting on something external, but being held by calm itself, by stillness itself, by this moment itself, and that creates a very deep kind of relaxation, one that does not require effort, one that does not require control, just allowing. And now, as you continue to rest here, you may begin to notice your thoughts becoming quieter again, less structured, less demanding, more distant, like faint echoes drifting further away from your awareness, and you don't need to follow them, because they are no longer important in this moment. What is important is this feeling of support, this feeling of softness, this feeling of letting go. And now, you may begin to notice that your entire upper body feels like it is gently sinking, not falling, not dropping, but sinking in the most peaceful way, like being slowly carried into deeper rest. And each moment that passes, the sense of effort continues to fade, until even the idea of effort feels far away. And now something very subtle begins to happen. Your awareness begins to expand slightly, not outward, but inward, into stillness, into quiet, into a deeper layer of calm that has always been here beneath everything else. And now you are beginning to rest inside that layer, and it feels safe, it feels steady, it feels natural. And now your upper body may feel almost weightless in awareness, even though physically it is grounded, because your mind is no longer holding tension there. And now everything begins to slow down even more. Thoughts slow down, breathing slows down, sensation softens, and time itself feels less important. And now there is only this moment, only this breath, only this gentle unfolding of stillness. And now you may begin to feel something very comforting, as if your entire upper body is being gently held by a quiet field of calm. Not something you need to understand, just something you can feel. And that feeling deepens relaxation even further, because the nervous system naturally follows safety. And now there is nothing left to protect, nothing left to prepare for, nothing left to hold. And so your body lets go even more. And now you may begin to notice a soft heaviness spreading, not uncomfortable, but grounding, comforting, like your body is finally allowed to fully rest. And now even your breathing feels like it is happening on its own, without effort, without direction, just natural flow. And you are simply observing, and in that observation there is peace. And now your upper body feels more unified, more settled, more calm, as if everything is aligning into one continuous state of relaxation. And that unity creates deeper stillness, because nothing is separate anymore. Everything is flowing together. And now you may begin to drift slightly deeper again, not into sleep yet, but closer, into that soft threshold where awareness begins to fade at the edges, and everything becomes quieter, softer, slower, and you are no longer holding anything. Not your thoughts, not your body, not your awareness, just resting. And now everything continues to soften. Everything continues to slow. Everything continues to settle until only calm remains, and you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath. And now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to fix or improve anything at all, just allow your awareness to slowly continue moving downward from your upper body into your hips, and just notice This area of your body often carries more than we realize. Subtle tension from sitting, from standing, from moving through the day, from holding yourself together without even noticing it. And now, in this moment, you don't need to hold any of that anymore. You are safe, right here, right now. And as that sense of safety settles in, something very gentle begins to happen. A soft wave of relaxation continuing its natural flow downward, from your upper body into your hips, not sudden, not forced, but slow, steady, almost like warmth spreading through tight spaces and gently encouraging them to soften. And you are not doing this. It is happening naturally, because your body knows how to release when it feels safe enough to do so. And now, as that wave reaches your hips, you may begin to notice a subtle shift, a quiet easing, a gentle loosening, as if the deeper muscles that support your posture are finally being allowed to rest, and that permission is enough, because your nervous system responds not to effort, but to safety. And now, that softness begins to spread down into your lower back, an area that often holds hidden tension, even when the mind is calm. And now, you don't need to support anything there. You don't need to stabilize anything there. You can allow it to soften, to release, to let go. And you may begin to feel a slow, unwinding sensation, like tightness that has been present for hours, days, or even longer, beginning to dissolve, not all at once, but gradually, naturally, like something melting in slow motion. And now your lower back may begin to feel slightly heavier, but in a deeply comforting way, like being supported from within, like something is gently holding you so you no longer need to hold yourself. And now that wave continues spreading through your entire pelvic area, softening everything it touches, releasing hidden layers of tension you were not even aware of. And now something very important begins to happen. Your body starts to shift from holding posture into resting posture, from engagement into surrender, from effort into ease, and you are not controlling this shift. It is happening through you, naturally. And now you may begin to notice your breathing again, but now it feels different, because your hips and lower back are no longer holding tension that interferes with breath. So each inhale feels more open, and each exhale feels more releasing, as if your entire body is exhaling stress without effort. And now that softness begins to deepen even further, spreading downward through your entire lower torso, creating a sense of grounding, a sense of stability, a sense of being fully supported. And now you may begin to notice something very subtle. Your entire mid to lower body feels less reactive, less tight, more open, more settled, as if your system is finally moving out of doing mode and into resting mode. And that transition is deeply calming, because nothing is being demanded from you anymore. And now, as you continue to rest here, you may begin to feel your awareness becoming softer, less focused on individual sensations, and more aware of a general feeling of calm throughout your body, as if everything is merging into one continuous field of relaxation. And that unity creates deep peace, because there is no longer separation between parts of the body. Everything is flowing together. Everything is softening together. Everything is releasing together. And now something even deeper begins to happen. Your lower back and hips begin to feel like they are being gently received by the surface beneath you, not held tightly, but gently supported. And that support creates safety, and safety creates surrender, and surrender creates deep rest. And now you may begin to notice your thoughts becoming even quieter. As your body releases tension, your mind naturally slows, because they are connected. When the body softens, The mind follows, and now thoughts begin to drift further away, like distant echoes fading into silence. No longer sharp, no longer urgent, no longer important, and you don't need to follow them, because they are not needed in this moment. Only this feeling matters, this softness, this heaviness, this quiet support, and now you may begin to feel a gentle sinking sensation, as if your entire lower body is slowly settling deeper into rest, not falling, not losing control, but gently sinking into calm, like being carried into deeper stillness. And with each passing moment, the sense of effort continues to fade, until even the idea of effort feels distant. And now there is only softness, only stillness, only this quiet unfolding. And now something very peaceful begins to emerge, a sense that your entire body is being held by something steady and calm, not outside of you, but within this moment itself. And that sense of being held allows deeper relaxation to unfold, naturally, effortlessly, without resistance. And now everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to settle, until only calm remains, and you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, and now gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to move or correct anything at all. Just allow your awareness to slowly continue moving downward from your hips into your legs, and just notice your legs have been carrying you all day, walking, standing, moving, supporting you in countless small ways you may not have even noticed. And now, in this moment, they don't need to carry anything anymore. They don't need to move. They don't need to support effort. They don't need to stay ready. They can simply rest. And as that understanding settles in, something very natural begins to happen. A soft wave of relaxation continues its journey downward from your hips into your thighs, and you are not doing this. It is happening on its own because your body recognizes safety. And now your thighs may begin to feel slightly heavier, but in a deeply comfortable way, like they are finally being allowed to release all effort. And you might notice a subtle softening, a quiet loosening, as if tightness that has been there all day is beginning to dissolve, slowly, naturally, without force. And now that wave continues downward into your knees. And just notice how often your knees have supported transitions today, standing up, sitting down, moving forward, always adjusting, always responding. And now they don't need to respond anymore, so they can soften, they can release, they can simply be still. And as that happens, you may begin to feel a gentle sense of relief, as if something inside your legs is finally being given permission to stop holding tension. And that permission is enough, because your body responds to safety more than anything else. And now that relaxation continues flowing downward into your lower legs, your calves, your shins, releasing subtle tightness that may have built up without awareness. And now your legs begin to feel heavier, but not in a tiring way, in a grounding way, like sinking deeper into comfort, deeper into stillness, deeper into rest. And now, gently, allow that wave to reach your ankles, and just notice how small yet important this area is, always adjusting balance, always responding to movement. And now it doesn't need to do anything. It can rest fully, completely. And now that wave continues into your feet, and just notice how much your feet have done for you today, holding you up, moving you forward, connecting you to the ground beneath you. And now they can finally stop. They can finally soften. They can finally release. And you may begin to notice your toes becoming stiller, softer, less active, as if every tiny bit of effort is slowly dissolving. And now your entire legs feel like they are sinking, not falling, not losing control, but gently settling, like being supported by something deeper than effort. And that sensation brings comfort, because your legs no longer need to carry responsibility. They are allowed to rest, and now that heaviness begins to spread from your feet all the way upward through your calves, your knees, your thighs, until your entire lower body feels unified, one continuous sense of relaxation, one continuous softness, one continuous letting go. And that unity is powerful because nothing is separate anymore. Everything is flowing together into calm. And now you may begin to notice your breathing again, but now it feels even softer because your lower body is no longer holding tension that affects your breath. So each inhale feels easier and each exhale feels longer, as if your entire system is slowly exhaling stress, without effort, without control, just naturally happening. And now something very subtle begins to shift. Your legs begin to feel less like parts of the body and more like a sensation of heaviness, a field of calm, a grounding presence beneath you. And that shift brings deeper relaxation because the mind no longer has to think in parts, only in wholeness. And now you may begin to feel your entire lower body being gently supported, as if the surface beneath you is not just holding you, but receiving you completely, without resistance. And in that receiving, there is safety. And in that safety, there is surrender. And in that surrender, there is deep rest. And now, thoughts may begin to drift further away again, less sharp, less present, more distant, like faint echoes dissolving into quiet space. And you don't need to follow them, because they are no longer important right now. Only this heaviness matters. Only this stillness matters. Only this gentle sinking into comfort. And now, you may begin to feel a deeper sense of grounding, as if your entire body is slowly becoming anchored into calm, not pulled down, but gently settled, like everything inside you is finding its natural place of rest. And now, there is a sense that your legs are no longer doing anything at all. They are simply being held, simply being supported, simply resting. And that realization brings even deeper calm, because effort is no longer required anywhere in your body. And now, everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to settle, until only calm remains. And you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, and now, gently, without changing anything, without adjusting your position, without trying to move or fix anything at all. Just allow your awareness to softly settle all the way down into your feet, and just notice your feet have carried you through everything today. Every step, every moment of standing, every direction you moved in, quietly supporting you without complaint. And now, they don't need to carry anything anymore. Not weight, not effort, not tension, nothing at all. They can finally rest. And as that awareness settles in, something very gentle begins to happen. A slow wave of relaxation moving into your feet, not sudden, not forced, but steady, soft, like warmth spreading into stillness. And you are not creating this feeling. It is happening naturally because your body recognizes safety, and now your feet begin to soften, just slightly at first, and then a little more, as if the small muscles inside them are finally being given permission to release all effort, and that permission is enough, because your body responds deeply to rest. And now you may begin to notice your toes becoming still, less active, less engaged, as if every tiny part of movement is gently fading away. And there is nothing you need to do about it. It happens on its own, naturally. And now, that softness spreads through the soles of your feet, releasing tension you may not have even been aware of, subtle tightness from standing, walking, balancing, existing, all slowly melting, and now your feet begin to feel heavier, but in the most comfortable way, like they are finally being held completely, no longer needing to support anything, no longer needing to respond, just resting fully. And now, gently, that sense of heaviness deepens, not as pressure, but as grounding, as if your feet are gently sinking into calm, into stillness, into ease, and with every passing moment, that feeling becomes more natural, more steady, more peaceful. And now, something very subtle begins to happen. Your connection to the ground beneath you begins to feel stronger, not in a physical effort sense, but in a feeling sense, as if the surface beneath you is not just supporting your feet, but gently receiving them, holding them, allowing them to fully let go. And that sense of being received creates safety, and safety creates relaxation, and relaxation creates surrender. And now, you may begin to notice your ankles softening, just a small release, but meaningful, as if even the joints that normally stay ready for movement are now allowed to rest. And now that wave continues upward through your lower legs. Even though we are focused on your feet, everything is connected, and relaxation spreads through the system like a ripple. And now your entire lower body feels more unified, more grounded, more settled, as if everything below your waist is gently dissolving into calm. And now, something deeper begins to happen. Your feet no longer feel like parts of your body. They feel like stillness itself, like heaviness transformed into comfort. And that shift is deeply calming, because your mind no longer has to track individual tension, only overall ease. And now your breathing continues to soften, because nothing in your lower body is resisting anymore. So each inhale feels lighter, and each exhale feels longer, as if your entire system is slowly exhaling the weight of the day, without effort, without control, just naturally happening. And now you may begin to notice a gentle sinking sensation, as if your feet are not just resting, but being gently absorbed into calm, not disappearing, but integrating into stillness. And that sensation spreads upward, through your legs, through your hips, through your entire body, until everything feels connected in one continuous flow of relaxation. And now there is a very important shift happening. Your awareness is no longer focused on effort anywhere in your body, because there is no effort left to manage, only softness, only stillness, only quiet support. And now your feet may feel so still, so calm, so grounded, that even the idea of movement feels far away, and that distance is peaceful, because nothing is required of you anymore. And now your mind begins to follow this stillness. Thoughts slow down, lose structure, fade into the background, like distant sounds dissolving into silence, and you don't need to engage with them, because they are no longer important in this moment. Only this feeling matters, this grounding, this heaviness, this gentle ease. And now your entire body begins to feel like it is resting from the bottom up. Feet, legs, hips, chest, everything supported, everything softened, everything safe. And now you may begin to feel something very comforting, as if your whole body is gently anchored into calm, not held tightly, but held gently, like being fully accepted by stillness itself. And in that acceptance there is deep relaxation. And now everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to settle, until only peace remains. And you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, moment by moment. And now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to analyze anything, without needing to adjust or fix anything at all, just allow your awareness to slowly expand, not upward, not outward, but inward, into a deeper sense of your entire body as one unified experience. And just notice something very important is happening now. You are no longer focusing on separate parts of the body. Not the feet, not the legs, not the arms, not the chest, not the head. Instead, something softer is forming, a single field of calmness, a unified sensation of stillness. And you don't need to create this feeling. It is already here, emerging naturally as everything begins to settle. And as you notice this, you may begin to feel a quiet shift inside your awareness, as if your entire body is no longer something you are observing from the outside, but something you are gently resting inside of. And that shift is deeply calming, because separation begins to fade and wholeness begins to emerge. And now there is no need to track tension anymore, because there is no single place holding it. Everything is softening together, everything is releasing together, everything is settling together. And now you may begin to notice something very subtle. Your body feels heavier, but in a peaceful way, like sinking, like melting, like gently being carried downward into stillness, not by force, but by surrender. And that surrender feels safe, because nothing is resisting anymore. Nothing is being held tightly. Everything is allowed to simply be. And now you may notice your breathing becoming even quieter, not controlled, not changed, just naturally slower, as if your entire body is breathing as one system now, not separate parts, but one unified rhythm of calm. And each inhale feels softer, and each exhale feels longer, as if your body is slowly releasing every remaining trace of effort, without trying, without doing, just allowing. And now something very deep begins to happen. Your awareness begins to feel less like thinking and more like being, less like observing and more like resting. And that shift takes you deeper into stillness, into calm, into quiet presence. And now you may begin to notice that your body feels almost like a single sensation. Not arms, not legs, not torso, but one continuous field of relaxation, one continuous softness, one continuous heaviness. And that unity creates a very profound sense of peace, because nothing is fragmented anymore, nothing is separate, everything is flowing together into rest. And now you may begin to feel yourself sinking slightly deeper, not physically but in awareness, as if your mind is gently lowering into calm, like drifting downward through soft layers of stillness. And each layer feels quieter than the last, more peaceful than the last, more effortless than the last. And now even thoughts begin to feel distant, not active, not sharp, just faint impressions in the background, like echoes fading far away. And you don't need to engage with them, because they are no longer important here. Only this field of calmness matters. Only this gentle sinking matters. Only this moment of letting go matters. And now something very comforting begins to emerge, a sense that your entire body is being held, not by effort, not by control, but by stillness itself, by the quiet support of this moment. And in that holding there is deep safety, and in that safety your system relaxes even further, naturally, effortlessly, without resistance. And now your body may feel like it is gently drifting, not away, but inward, into deeper quiet, into deeper softness, into deeper rest. And now there is nothing left to manage, nothing left to hold, nothing left to do, only this continuous unfolding of calm. And as that realization settles in, your nervous system responds by slowing down even more, by softening even more, by letting go even more. And now everything feels like it is becoming quieter, inside, around, through you, and you are no longer separate from the calm. You are inside it, and it is inside you. And now the sensation of sinking becomes even more gentle, as if your awareness is being carried by something soft and steady, not pulling you, but supporting you. And that support allows deeper relaxation to unfold, layer by layer, moment by moment, breath by breath. And now even the idea of effort feels very far away, like something that belongs to another time, another state, not here, not now. And here only softness remains, only stillness remains, only quiet presence remains. And now your entire body feels as if it is resting in perfect alignment with calm, nothing resisting, nothing tightening, everything simply allowing. And that allowance is the deepest form of relaxation. And now you may begin to notice that your awareness itself is becoming softer, less focused, more diffused, more peaceful, as if you are gently dissolving into calm rather than observing it. And that dissolution is safe, comfortable, natural. And now everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to settle, until even the sense of doing disappears, and all that remains is being. And you are already there, gently, naturally, deeply resting. And now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to hold on to anything, without needing to analyze or control anything at all, just allow your awareness to gently shift from the feeling of your body into the space of your mind, and just notice something is different here now. The mind that was once active, busy, engaged, constantly processing, is beginning to soften, slow down, and step back. And you don't need to stop your thoughts. You don't need to push them away. You don't need to silence them, because something deeper is already happening on its own. They are losing urgency. They are losing weight. They are losing importance. And as you notice that, you may begin to feel a quiet sense of relief, as if the pressure to think, to solve, to understand is gently dissolving. And now thoughts are still there, but they feel different, more distant, more quiet, less sharp, like faint echoes moving far away from you. And you are no longer pulled into them, because your awareness is resting somewhere deeper now. And that shift is very important, because you are no longer inside the thinking. You are observing it, and even that observation is becoming softer, more relaxed, more spacious. And now you may begin to notice something very subtle happening between thoughts, small gaps, tiny spaces, moments of silence appearing naturally. And in those spaces there is peace, not forced peace, not created peace, but the natural peace that was always there underneath everything else. And now those spaces begin to widen, just slightly at first, and then a little more, as thinking slows down on its own. And you are not controlling this slowing. It is happening because your system is resting. And now, thoughts may still appear, but they feel like distant movement, like leaves drifting on a calm surface. You can see them, but you don't need to follow them. And so you simply return to stillness again and again and again. And each return takes you deeper, not into thinking, but into awareness of silence. And now, something very important begins to happen. Your mind starts to feel less like a place of activity and more like a wide open space, a quiet sky, where thoughts can pass through without leaving a trace. And that space feels safe because nothing is crowded anymore. Nothing is urgent anymore. Everything is open. And now, you may begin to notice that even your awareness of thoughts is becoming softer, less focused, more relaxed, as if you are no longer holding on to them at all, just letting them move, pass, fade, and disappear. And now, something deeper begins to emerge, a quiet stillness behind the thoughts, a silent presence that is always there, even when thinking happens. Now, you are resting in that presence, not trying to reach it, not trying to create it, just noticing that it is already here. And that recognition brings a deep sense of calm, because you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness beneath them, and that awareness is always still, always calm, always safe. And now, as you rest here, thoughts continue to slow. They become softer, less structured, less defined, like distant sound dissolving into quiet air. And now, there is more silence than thinking, more space than noise, more stillness than movement, and that balance is shifting you deeper into rest. And now, you may begin to notice something very comforting, as if your mind is gently settling into a soft resting place, like lying down after a long journey, finally allowed to stop, finally allowed to be still. And that stillness is not empty, it is full, full of calm, full of space, full of ease. And now, even the idea of thinking feels far away, like something that belongs to another time, another state. Not here, not now, and now. There is only quiet awareness, soft, gentle, unmoving, and you are resting inside it. And now, everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, everything continues to settle, until even the sense of thinking begins to fade completely into the background, and all that remains is silence, and you are already sinking deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath. And now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to create any feeling, without needing to analyze or understand anything at all, just allow your awareness to soften even further and begin to notice something very subtle, a sense of safety, not something you are imagining, but something you are beginning to feel deep inside, quietly, naturally, as if your entire system is finally receiving a message it has been waiting for. You are safe now, and you don't need to force this feeling. You don't need to convince yourself of it, because safety is not created by thinking. It is felt in the body, and now your body is beginning to respond, slowly, softly, naturally, and as that sense of safety grows, something very important begins to happen. Your nervous system starts to shift from alertness into calm, from holding into releasing, from protection into rest, and you may begin to notice this shift in very subtle ways. Your breathing feels slightly easier, your body feels slightly heavier, your thoughts feel slightly quieter, and all of it is happening without effort, because your system is finally beginning to relax into safety. And now you may begin to feel a deeper sense of settling, as if something inside you is saying, it is okay to stop now. It is okay to let go now. It is okay to rest now. And that inner permission is powerful because your body listens to safety more than anything else. And now it responds by softening, by releasing, by slowing down. And now that sense of safety begins to spread, not just in one area, but through your entire system, like a gentle wave moving through every part of you, soothing, calming, reassuring. And now you may begin to notice that your body no longer feels like it is preparing for anything, no longer bracing, no longer holding tension in anticipation. Instead, it feels grounded, supported, steady, and that stability allows even deeper relaxation to unfold. And now something very subtle begins to emerge, a feeling that you are being held, not by effort, not by control, but by something deeper. The quiet support of this moment itself. And in that support, there is no need to protect anything, no need to stay alert, no need to stay tense. And so your system begins to let go even more, naturally, gently, without resistance. And now you may begin to notice that your awareness itself feels softer, less sharp, more spacious, as if your mind is no longer tightly focused, but gently expanding into calm. And in that expansion, there is peace, because nothing is crowded anymore, nothing is urgent anymore, everything is simply here. And now you may begin to feel a deeper stillness forming, not forced, not created, but naturally appearing as everything slows down. And now even your thoughts feel distant again, like faint impressions drifting far away, no longer pulling you, no longer demanding attention, just passing through and disappearing. And you remain untouched, still, calm, present. And now that sense of safety continues to deepen, as if your entire body is learning. It is safe to be still. It is safe to let go. It is safe to rest completely. And that learning is not intellectual. It is physical. It is emotional. It is deeply nervous system based. And now your breathing reflects that safety, becoming softer, slower, more natural, as if your entire system is breathing out tension, without effort, without direction, just releasing. And now something even deeper begins to happen. Your sense of self begins to soften, not disappear, but relax, as if the boundaries of effort and control are gently dissolving. And what remains is presence, quiet presence, safe presence. And now everything feels more unified, body, mind, breath, stillness, all flowing together, all settling together, all resting together. And that unity creates deep peace. Nothing is separate anymore. Nothing is in conflict. Everything is aligned with calm. And now you may begin to notice a gentle sinking sensation again, not falling, not losing control, but slowly descending into deeper ease, like drifting downward into soft, warm stillness. And each moment that passes, the sense of safety grows stronger, not because anything outside has changed, because something inside has finally stopped resisting. And now your entire system feels like it can fully rest, without guarding, without preparing, without holding. And that complete permission creates profound relaxation. And now everything continues to slow, everything continues to soften, Everything continues to settle until only this sense of safety remains, and you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, moment by moment, and now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to fix anything, without needing to understand anything at all. Just allow your awareness to soften even more and begin to notice. There may still be things your system has been holding, not always in clear thoughts, but in quiet layers, emotional weight, mental pressure, physical tension, subtle forms of holding that build up over time without awareness. And now, in this moment, you don't need to carry any of it anymore. Not emotionally, not mentally, not physically. You are safe right here, right now. And as that sense of safety continues to deepen, something very natural begins to happen. A gentle process of letting go, not forced, not dramatic, but soft, quiet, almost invisible, like something slowly dissolving inside you. And you don't need to identify what it is. You don't need to label it. You don't need to understand it, because release does not require explanation. It only requires permission. And now you are giving that permission. And as you do, your system begins to respond, slowly, softly, naturally. And now you may begin to feel a subtle loosening, a quiet unwinding, as if something inside you that has been held for too long is finally being allowed to relax. And that relaxation is not mental. It is deeper than thought. It is physical, emotional, nervous system based. And now you may begin to notice your breathing becoming slightly more open, as if every exhale is gently carrying something away, something you no longer need to hold. And you are not directing this process. It is happening through you, naturally, effortlessly. And now that sense of release begins to spread through your chest, your stomach, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, as if your entire body is participating in a quiet letting go. And you don't need to guide it. You only need to allow it, and that allowance deepens everything. And now you may begin to notice a very subtle emotional softening, not processing emotions, not analyzing them, but simply letting them settle, like waves becoming still after movement, like water calming after disturbance. And now something very important begins to happen. The need to hold on begins to fade, not because you are forcing it, but because your system is realizing it is safe to let go. And that realization creates deep relaxation, because holding is effort and letting go is relief. And now your body begins to choose relief naturally. And now you may notice your mind becoming quieter again, less reactive, less engaged, less attached to passing thoughts. And even if thoughts appear, they feel distant, unimportant, like echoes fading far away, and you are no longer pulled into them, because something deeper is holding your awareness now, stillness. And now that stillness begins to expand, not outward, but inward, deeper into you, as if everything inside you is gently opening space, space to rest, space to soften, space to release. And now you may begin to feel a sense of lightness emerging, not excitement, not energy, but relief, a soft, quiet relief, as if something has been set down that you didn't even realize you were carrying. And now your entire system begins to settle into that relief, naturally, without effort. And now something very calming begins to happen. Your emotional system begins to quiet, not suppressing anything, but simply no longer holding it tightly. And that creates peace, because nothing is being resisted anymore. Everything is allowed to move and pass and dissolve. And now you may begin to notice a deeper sense of openness inside your body, as if space is forming where tension used to be, and that space feels safe, comfortable, soft. And now your awareness begins to drift slightly deeper again, not into thinking, but into resting, into being, into quiet presence. And now everything feels more unified again. Body, mind, breath, emotion, all gently aligning into calm. And that alignment creates a profound sense of ease, because nothing is separate anymore. Nothing is conflicting. Everything is settling into the same rhythm, the rhythm of letting go. And now you may begin to feel a gentle sinking sensation again, as if your awareness is being softly carried downward into deeper calm, into quieter stillness, into more complete rest, and each moment becomes slower, softer, more peaceful, until even the idea of holding anything feels distant, and all that remains is release, and you are already moving deeper into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, and now gently, without changing anything, without trying to control anything, without needing to hold on to anything at all. Just allow your awareness to soften even further and begin to notice something very natural happening now. A sense of drifting, not sudden, not forced, but gentle, like floating, like slowly being carried into deeper calm. And you are not doing this, it is happening on its own, because your body and mind are finally beginning to fully rest. And now you may notice that everything feels slightly further away. Thoughts feel further away, sounds feel further away, even sensations feel softer, more distant, more quiet, as if you are gently moving inward into a deeper layer of stillness, and that stillness feels safe, comfortable, natural. And now something very important begins to happen. Your awareness is no longer sharply focused, it is softening, expanding, dissolving into calm. And that shift is deeply soothing, because nothing needs to be analyzed anymore. Nothing needs to be solved. Nothing needs to be held in attention. And now there is only presence, quiet presence, soft presence, resting presence. And now you may begin to feel a subtle heaviness again, but not uncomfortable heaviness, a sleep-like heaviness, the kind that naturally comes before deep rest, as if your body is slowly remembering how to let go completely. And now each breath feels like a gentle wave, inhaling calm, exhaling tension, without effort, without control, just natural rhythm returning. And now you may notice that your thoughts are becoming even quieter, less structured, less frequent, more distant, like faint echoes fading into silence, and you are no longer following them because they no longer feel important. Only this moment matters, only this drifting matters, only this soft descent into rest matters. And now something very calming begins to deepen inside you. A sense that you are no longer in a waking state in the same way, and not yet fully asleep, but in between, that soft space where everything becomes slower, softer, quieter, and time itself begins to feel less important. And now you may notice your body feels heavier in a peaceful way, as if it is gently sinking into support, not falling, not losing control, but being held completely. And that holding brings deep safety, because nothing is required of you anymore. And now your awareness begins to blur slightly at the edges, not confusion, but softness, like the edges of focus gently dissolving into calm. And now everything feels more unified again. Body, breath, stillness, all becoming one continuous experience of ease. And that unity creates deep peace, because nothing is separate anymore, nothing is divided, everything is flowing into the same direction, rest. And now you may begin to feel a deeper drifting sensation, as if your awareness is gently floating downward into quieter layers of consciousness, where thinking is no longer active. Only awareness remains, soft, still, quiet awareness. And now, even that awareness begins to soften, becoming less sharp, less defined, more like a feeling of being rather than doing. And now, something very important begins to happen. The body begins to feel like it is no longer in use, not in a negative way, but in a restful way, as if it is being gently returned to stillness. And that feeling is deeply comforting, because effort is no longer required anywhere. And now you may notice that even your sense of time is loosening. Moments feel softer, less structured, as if everything is gently stretching into calm. And now there is only this drifting, this soft awareness, this peaceful letting go. And now your breathing becomes even quieter, almost automatic, almost invisible, as if it is happening in the background of stillness. And now you may feel yourself moving closer to sleep, not suddenly, but gradually, naturally, like sinking into warm, soft quietness. And each moment carries you deeper, without resistance, without effort, just gentle descent. And now, even the idea of staying awake feels distant, not resisted, just fading, like something slowly releasing its grip, and all that remains is calm, soft calm, deep calm, and you are already moving into it, gently, naturally, breath by breath, moment by moment. And now, gently, without changing anything, without trying to hold on to awareness, without needing to stay alert in any way at all, just allow yourself to soften completely and begin to notice you are now very close to sleep, not as something you need to reach, but as something you are naturally entering, slowly, softly, effortlessly. And there is nothing you need to do anymore, nothing to guide, nothing to control, nothing to hold, only letting go. And now everything feels even quieter than before. Thoughts are fading further into the background, sensations are becoming softer, awareness itself is becoming gentle, distant, peaceful, and you may notice that your body feels heavier than ever, but in the most comfortable way, as if it is finally returning to complete rest, fully supported, fully safe, fully at ease. And now something very natural begins to happen. The boundary between awareness and sleep begins to soften, not suddenly, but gradually, like drifting through a quiet doorway into deeper rest. And each breath carries you slightly further. Inhale, calm, exhale, letting go without effort, without direction, just natural descent. And now you may notice that even the idea of listening feels softer, more distant, as if your awareness is gently dissolving into calmness itself. And that dissolution is safe, comforting, natural, because nothing is being lost, only effort is being released. And now everything feels like it is slowing down even more. Time feels less important, thoughts feel less structured, awareness feels less sharp, and all that remains is softness, gentle softness, deep softness. And now you may begin to feel yourself slipping closer to sleep, not as a moment, but as a process, a gradual fading, a peaceful drifting, like sinking into warm stillness that holds you completely. And now your breathing may become almost invisible, so natural, so quiet, so effortless, as if your body is breathing itself into rest. And now, even the sense of your body begins to fade slightly at the edges, not disappearing, but becoming softer in awareness, more distant, more peaceful. And now, there is only calm, only stillness, only gentle fading awareness. And you are safe here, completely safe. Let go fully now, and now, if thoughts appear, they are like soft clouds passing far away. No need to follow them, no need to respond, just letting them drift and fade and disappear. And you remain here, still, quiet, resting. And now, you may notice a final deep wave of relaxation moving through everything. Not strong, not forceful, but final, like the body completing its return to rest. And now there is nothing left to hold, nothing left to carry, nothing left to do, only sleep, and you are already entering it, gently, naturally, without resistance. And now I will say less and less as you drift deeper, because sleep does not need words, it only needs permission, and you have already given it. So now let go softly, completely, and allow sleep to take you. As now slam, and as you rest now, only peace, only silence, only sleep.